Okay. So again, thanks for being here, Ray. I don't know where we already started talking before I even started hitting record, and the whole thing's new for me as well,
Yeah.
or it's new for me. So we were just talking about being creative and how much that is a big part of what you're about and what I'm definitely interested in, and how that plays into what you do, right?
Yeah, totally.
So I have some. The first question I wanted to ask you about is, when did you start down this path of skateboarding and art and music and all these things that you're into? Was there like for me, it was like high school, like having the identity, and they all kind of like fell into place around that same time.
Yeah. No, I was around the same thing. Like I started in 87 when I was riding, and I think it's so crazy. So I have a stepbrother that we don't talk to, but he literally did a boneless off of a bumper of a car, and my head exploded.
Right.
Because I literally just got my first board, and I was like, wait, you can jump off your board onto a car and jump back on your board, and like my head exploded. Like I literally was just like, okay, here it is. Now find the rabbit hole of all the stuff. So basically, luckily I lived in like a pretty rural area, totally the burbs, but that's when like launch ramps and like curbs were the thing to ride. And like ollieing over a manhole made you like, you're the shit if you can ollie over the manhole. So I was like, all right, I guess this is what I do now. Like, and then, tic-tacking was like a crazy thing for you. If you could learn how to tic-tac to the launch ramp, you were like God. So I was like, all right, here it goes. So that was like 87 I started. And
yeah, that's definitely in the launch ramp era, for sure.
Oh, for sure. And I still love launch ramps too. Like if someone brings one out, I'm just like so stoked. I'm like so pumped when I see it. So it just brings back crazy memories. But that's where it started. And then it wasn't until like years later, like when I started Lost Soul, after I bought it from the owner in 2007. It was only around for 1 year before I bought it. So I bought the skateboard company being the first pro when the owner originally got like in really bad hard times. And then that's when like, oh, I have to come up with graphics. Oh, I have to learn how. I've never really drawn before, so now I have to draw, So it was like, holy shit, I really got to figure this out, because I didn't even think twice about it. I was like, sure, I helped pick the team and I think it was cool, so let's just do it. And that's just how it started.
The skating happened before the art did, yeah.
Oh, way before. Yeah. I didn't know. I think I was like too embarrassed to do art when I was younger, just because like, even like, you remember, I mean, you've been skating for a while too. So like in the 80s, drawing on your grip tape was super cool. And like,
I still do that. Yes.
Yeah. So I still like, I'll write something, scratch it in with a screwdriver or something on my grip tape, just because I mean, what was a paint pen back then? That was like nothing. It was like, but what's a screwdriver in the basement or in the garage? You just go grab it and just etch it in. So
super accessible.
Yeah. So that's just use what's around you. But yeah, that's when I started doodling, mostly when I really got involved in the skate company aspect.
So my experience with launch ramps was pretty limited, right? Like there was some heads down the street from my grandparents' house, and like they were fucking gnarly, like with the launch ramp, right? And
same with I was actually super intimidated.
Yeah. It was like these were the older cats, right? And they were super gnarly. And I ended up they had a quarter setup, launch ramp setup, and I ended up busting my arm on the quarter pipe that they had, right?
Yeah.
And like that was like, I'm like, man, like I don't know about that was like,
That's
one of
yeah,
those things.
I'm the same. I rolled my ankle and I thought it was all over. I
Hmm.
literally thought it was all over after I went off the launch ramp and rolled my ankle.
Yeah.
I was just like, holy shit, is this what we do? Like,
Hmm.
and then they're like, this is part of it. I'm like, I can't
Right.
walk. And they're like, figure it out, dude. I was so gnarly. I was so scared.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, after, yeah, I remember after I finally got my cast off, like, like the first time I went skating, like right afterwards, like I didn't even um no wrist guard, you know what I mean? Like, duh.
Yeah.
And like I was like skating like a friend's like little backyard. He had like this pond, like this like pretty deep fish pond, right, that they drained out or whatever. And like the first half hour slam like right back on my wrist. I thought I broke it again,
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like I know that it's part of it, but was there any time where besides the rolled ankle, is there another time that you've gotten like really
Oh my
broke off
God.
like that?
So
Or
many years later, I think like, I'm like 46 now. It's
mm,
crazy to still like, I think I'm more juiced about skating now than I am back then. Like
mhm,
I obsessively think about what's next or what's new, or people are just like, I don't know. I was like, I literally feel like a kid when I go out. And I think it's just from like that work ethic of like, I just want to do stuff. So if I go out to do stuff, it's like, all right, I have to learn something new. And I also like have like a private goal of like once a week I try and learn something new. So it's kind of like
mm,
a fun little adventure, like as you
mhm,
get older. But no,
mhm.
I've had some terrible injuries, like torn urethra, fractured tailbone in one fall. I've
Whoa.
had a I've had a concussion where I pissed myself and woke up in an ambulance and repeated the same sentence for 5 hours, and then had to drive 11 hours home with my fiance at the time, and then like pull over and puke because I hit my head so hard, and then get back in the car and try and drive home. Yeah, it's
Is
been
it
some really bad ones. Yeah.
I've noticed in some of your videos there's a tendency to climb on roofs.
Oh
Do
yeah,
you yeah,
I'm obsessed.
yeah.
Yeah, I want to be the first one. That's like now my new thing. Like, I think like if you watch like that dude Jaws, that
Mm,
Aaron Homoki or whatever
mhm,
from Birdhouse, he has
mhm,
like a couple of video parts called Criddler on the Roof, and he just skates roofs. Well, I saw him do it, and then I saw like Tom K from Weekend,
mm.
and that Jordan dude from Weekend, and they all skate roofs. But it's just like I'm always so tired of looking down anymore. Now I just look up at stuff, and I'm like,
Right. There's
well,
a whole other thing up
that'd
there.
be cool. Yeah, I'm like, that'd be cool to drop in on. Or like, this is a glass roof that definitely is gonna crack if I grind on it. But like if I go down the metal seam, it's not gonna crack, but I want to be the one to do it. So it's like I'm obsessed with like that rush. It's like
Is
that danger rush. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have roof clips in the new video?
Oh yeah, big time. I didn't show any of the I didn't tell any of my team riders. Most of the time I just go meet Adam and my friend Adam Novicki, and he's in Reading. He's like an hour away. So I would
Mm,
tell him like, I'm coming to town. I might have a filmer, I might not, but let's look for some roofs, and I need a photo. So I don't know. I try and do it right away, but he thinks I'm like, I've pushed him mentally over the edge by like some of the ones I've stood on top of, being like, all right, cool. I just want to do this in as less tries as possible so we can go get
mm.
more stuff. So yeah, I've terrified him. I've literally terrified him a lot. So
So,
now he says he's used to it, but I don't know.
it's it's
It's
it's
just
it's interesting to me. I'm sorry, but it's
go.
interesting to me. What's interesting is that um, a lot of people that probably watch like the Curb Files YouTube or whatever, or see the clips like that show up on Curb Files, it's you skating like a milk crate in a curb.
Yeah, they
A,
have no
a
idea.
roof is like the opposite.
Oh yeah, I know.
you know.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, I wanted a video part. Like I want video parts that you want to watch more than once, right?
right.
So, and like, I don't know. I've talked to like my friend Matt Tomasello in Boston, that dude
Mm,
from Fancy Lad,
mhm,
and we talk about like what we put out on social media. But then what you put out for like your video part, I mean, I want to be remembered by both, but more or less, I want my video part to be the one, like, I want people to be like, I didn't know, and I want to watch it again. And then I'm like, yeah, because like, you know, your phone, you can just keep watching stuff over and over again, but it's just like, how much do I put on while you're filming a video? I mean, the Lost Soul video took 3 years for us to, from beginning to end, to film. So I was just being super secretive, and some of the guys on the team had no idea, because some of those tries were only like once, Darren, like literally one. I'm just like so like psycho about it. I'm making sure everything's clean. I go up on the roof, I look at it a couple of times, then I run back down, and then I'm setting up stuff, and then I'm like, you do have this like crazy madness, but I'm also like, all right, if I go, I'm like 100% like, I don't care. I'm not crashing. Like, I'm just going to ride away. And sometimes it works out. And then sometimes I'm like 10 tries deep with like bruised hands and elbows. And I'm just like, one of these tries, please, can I land it? So, but yeah, I don't know. I think we're putting the video online in August for people to see it. So then they'll see like the real video part.
So why the DVD? And I mean that in, as somebody that puts out,
I mean,
a print zine. You know what I mean? Like,
so
what,
I mean, you have those punk aspects, and you have like that background, right? So I think like stuff needs still to be documented all these years later. And once like I mean, look at the oldest thrashers. Like, we could always go back to those and be like, it was in print and it was like super cool, right? So you just like think like, well, what's the difference? Like, everyone puts it online, it'll be forgotten in like 2 weeks tops. And that goes for like the big pros. Like, no one knows about us. I'm used to like people not caring about Lost Soul, even though like I run it like out of my basement and it's carried in Japan and also some shops in the US, but I'm just like, whatever, like, let's just make a video where like we can it needs to be like cement, like a record, you know what I mean? Like, if you make an album, you're like, this is the resume and this is what I want to look back on. And I hate downloads. I don't do downloads ever. I don't download music. I absolutely don't. People think I'm crazy for it, but I'm just like, no, I still buy cassettes. I still buy albums, and I feel like there's a need for that. So that's why we did a DVD.
I think that I totally feel all that. It took me a while personally to get over the hump and start downloading and streaming stuff like that. Like and part of that is living in a very isolated location now, right? When I lived in California, that kind of material was always easy to come by. Well, not easy to come by. I knew where to look. You know what I mean?
It's obtainable. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it was there, right? I could find it. Living in Hawaii sometimes, and especially on the island I live on, it's very difficult to find the physical things, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally agree that creating something that's tangible is
it's crucial, man.
I think
it's very crucial.
I think so too.
No,
right? Like your
100%.
your skateboard and the art that you put on it or that you choose to purchase, like, that's a tangible thing, right? And it all kind of ties together. So I'm stoked that you guys made a physical DVD.
I mean, I screen printed 100 of them and screen printed them. I made I collaged if you couldn't make it to the event, I even made like the event flyer, the actual cover. So I'm like, all right, so this is literally like, there's no way you can't not remember the date of this video when it dropped, because you have the physical flyer from the show. So yeah, it's just like, and it's also, like you said, it's tangible. Like, you want to put it together with your hands. You want to show like what a true DIY ethics are. And I kind of feel like I can't not do it that way. Like, I don't know. It's just in my DNA. I'm just so used to doing it this way that it doesn't bother me. It's like, I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's rad.
Yeah.
It's not the
I think
easy,
so too.
it's not the easy way out. A lot of people can
No,
just be like,
it's not.
no, no, it's absolutely not. I mean, I spend like multiple days just trying to pack and put these things together. And I'm like, other people are like, you're absolutely crazy. Like, I can't
Oh,
believe you're doing this. Yeah.
I think that it's definitely like financially, it's like a money pit. You know what I mean? Like doing
Oh yeah.
anything of that nature. Especially with the way that things operate nowadays. But at the same time, like I mean, there's we live in the fast food era of media, and it's not the same thing. You know what I mean? Like you
No,
definitely
it's
will
not.
spend more to go to Whole Foods for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
um the quality is going to be better, or it's gonna you can in a lot of ways you can feel the love that's put into something when it's
Yeah.
in that form, as opposed to.
Oh, for sure. And I think it has a lot to do for like me going to punk shows a long
Mm,
time ago. I mean, God, for like since the late 90s, I've been going to shows. So I know what it's like to like go to a show where like a band that's drove like 8 to 10 hours to play for four
mhm,
people and the other band. And
mhm,
then you're like, wow, I have like this zine. It costs. I'm like, yeah, just take all this
mhm.
extra money. Like, I I don't even care. Just take it, because to me, in the long run, it's gonna come back. Like, it'll come
Yeah,
back to me, and I don't know. It's just, I literally think like people have forgotten what that's like.
yeah,
So,
I
but it's
think so
also
too.
because I aged. I mean, I'm getting older, but it's like I still can't. I can't let it go. Like, I just
Mhm,
can't. Everything has to be done with my hands. I mean, my board graphics are either drawn by me, non-digital. I don't. I might
mm,
like literally watercolors, or
mm,
the new series that's coming out this year are collages. And like,
mm.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to work. I'm trying to work my normal job, take a nap when I come home, and get back up and then collage and get motivated, and then go back out and film stuff. Like,
yeah,
yeah, there's no helpers. It's just me. So I'm just trying to
yeah,
make my time on this earth entertaining. That's the easiest way to put it.
yeah.
Mm.
So as far as your output um goes, I know that personally I have shifted uh what is easy for me to accomplish creatively, compared to what it was easy for me to accomplish creatively in the past. And at some point I've had to like kind of pick and choose like what I do. I mean, I have a day job, I have a family.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like, and then people are sending me shit all the time on social media or whatever. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to be creative at the same time. Um, Music, art, filmmaking. Which one is really like the driver there? Like, which one would you not be able to walk away from?
I'm gonna be very honest. I can't. None. I have to keep all. It's like I've seriously have done bands since like the 90s.
Right.
I've been drawing since like the early 2000s, making band layouts. Like, I've been skating forever. But it's like when someone says like punk music and skating go together, it really does.
Yeah.
So, and I need each of them to like
Mm,
work. Like, it's it's just what I'm happy with. So
mhm,
I've just learned to like, it's kind of crazy. Like, I do have a wife and I have a dog, but I don't have any kids.
mm,
But I've literally learned to like manage my time so much better by just like focusing on like not getting stuck in a rabbit hole of YouTube, or like,
mm.
really stay far away from politics and church and state. Like, I don't, you can ask anyone, I like can't stand it. So it's just like I get so irritated with like how people treat each other sometimes. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go to I'm gonna go to my happy paradise spot. I'm gonna fart around for an hour and a half, and I'm gonna forget about how terrible everything is in this world, because
Right.
my board makes me so happy. So
Right.
I'm like, I literally can't get rid of anything. Like, I've made my schedule through the weeks, like throughout the week, to like which days for band practice. I focus on shows on this day. Certain days I go film, and it just kind of, it makes the week go fast. I'll tell you that. Like I'm cruising by like, but by Saturday I'm totally assed out. I'm super tired, but it's like I think about all the stuff that I just did, and I'm like, oh, I had a pretty cool week. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, I want to like, our days aren't like, we're not guaranteed tomorrow, to be brutally honest. So I'm obsessed about getting the most out of this life. And when you've been in a really low spot, like I know a lot of people have, you hit that spot. I'm not going to lie. It's happened to me, but I just learned to like, all right, cool. Cut out all the stuff that sucks and then just do the cool stuff you like. And if you do that, like surround yourself with like rad people.
Yeah.
Life's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, look how much joy a stupid piece of wood, trucks, and wheels make us feel. Like every time you get on it, you know, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
for me, it's like it's the meditative tool, right? You get on it and you have to be focused, clear of mind, right? And otherwise you, in my case, like I tend to eat shit if I don't do those things, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And being in the present, right? And focused on it. So, and it's the therapy, like the daily therapy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it does feel good when you think out like stuff you want to do, or like I have some of these crazy ideas, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, all right, I'm just going to do it today. Like I just, but like, and when I tell people some of the stuff at work, they think I'm absolutely crazy, but I'm like, but I've been thinking about it for like 20, I'm like, I've been thinking about it for 24 hours. So like, I thought about the movements, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm just going to go do it later this afternoon. And they're like, but it's supposed to snow today. And I'm like, so, and they're like, what? I go, I don't know, I'll wear a scarf and put on a hat or something. And they're like, Dad, I'm like, this is what we did when we were kids. Our parents would make us go outside and be like, get out of the house no matter what the weather was. You know, there was no YouTube, there was no Netflix or Hulu. It was like you had your yard, and for me, outside of my house was my curb and my manhole, and that's just how I learned how to skate.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that you can have those conversations, even try to have those conversations with your coworkers. I think that's kind of an interesting thing. Like I don't even try to go there with either skating or art, or especially music, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times, like people have, you know, they're so particular about their tastes or whatever, and we're the same age, so I'm sure like you probably have some sort of opinion on how things have morphed and changed, right? I mean, your ability to even have those conversations with other adults that you work with, that probably wasn't necessarily the case like in 1997, right?
Oh yeah, no. I definitely wouldn't be able to do it then. No.
Yeah, I always like kind of trip out on how we've adapted, and the thing that was kind of shunned upon and like put in the back corner has become like such a mainstream thing now, right?
Yeah, for sure.
The overall, like, I'm trying not to talk shit, because that's not necessarily like what I'm about, because I want people to be able to make their own decisions, and I'm not in touch with what's hip now. Like I'm way beyond that, right? But I do think that the where skateboarding is now, there's different camps, and everybody does their own thing, right? And you can have people that are super creative, like you were mentioning the fancy lad folks, like
Yeah.
I love their videos. Like those guys are,
Yeah.
it's fucking awesome, right? And then on the other end of the spectrum, there's, you know, the sporting version now, right?
Yeah.
Which was kind of like, I feel like it was always there, and it was kind of like an arm of skateboarding, but it wasn't necessarily uh, as mainstream and as big as it is now, right?
Yeah. No, those definitely different. And
Yeah.
also, like, I think like you said, when we first started, we were shunned. Like if you had a board or something, like I've been chased as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I was like
Mm-hmm.
screamed at, trying to run off the
Mm-hmm.
road. Now it's just like, oh, what are you doing? Hey,
Yeah. Bottles
my
thrown out of
son.
cars and stuff. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I've been like chased in school for this, like
Mm-hmm.
even wearing this like somewhat like a Jimmy Z's shirt or something. Like,
Mm-hmm.
are you kidding me? Like
Yeah.
just trying to be myself. People hated it. Now it's just
Mm-hmm.
like it's almost like you're a kook if you don't dress like a skater or like
Mm-hmm.
look like someone from the 90s. So
Mm-hmm.
uh
Yeah.
I mean, I'll never not think about fashion and stuff like that, but it's just funny, like you said, how it's just definitely developed and morphed into this whole like super acceptable thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I still like I trip out on the weirdos. Like I love
Mm-hmm.
the outsiders. I like the people who refuse to paint in the lines. And last night I even mentioned, I'm like, we're all weird. Like I love it. Like do
Mm-hmm.
not be normal, think outside the box, and like life's just way more enjoyable when you just don't care. I mean, when you go skate, you're not worried about like what anyone else thinks. You're just like, I'm just going out to skate. Like,
Mm-hmm.
gonna go to my happy place. I'm gonna hit my meditative spot and just do it, you know? So that's I just all my friends have kids and like change their lifestyles, and then they all complain that they can't skate anymore. And I'm like, but that's the one thing that's made you unbelievably happy. So you
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't stop, you know?
Yeah.
Just maintain yourself and you'll be okay. It's not like I don't have to see crazy gnarly tricks all the time. I literally can just like slappy a curb or like literally just slide on my crate one time and I'm like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty cool to me. Like still makes me happy. So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. There's a uh, there there was a time where I was not really super fond of what was going on, right? With skateboarding or whatnot. You know, I always had a board and was it was there every once in a while. I would use it or whatever. But there was some videos that started coming out, like the first welcome videos, and specifically there was, what is it, the that Go Miyagi
Oh
video
yes.
where he's
Yeah,
like
from
the,
Heroin Skateboards. Yeah.
yes, the one where he doesn't ollie at all. I think it's like on,
Yeah.
it was on Thrasher or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, it's, we're fucking doing it again.
Yep.
Like the shit is it's back to where it's supposed to be. Like the fucking weirdos, they're back in the situation, and it's gonna be okay now. It's not just
Yeah.
gonna be, you know, 15 stair handrails anymore. Like,
Yeah. No, thank God it's not. I mean, I respect that stuff a lot. Like
yo, for
I can get
sure,
I
for
can get
sure.
down I can get down watching it, and like, you know, I do skate bigger street stuff or like gnarlier stuff, but I'm just like also like, damn, I can watch those dudes from Osaka Daggers or like Go Miyagi or even like the two guys that are on my team, like
Mhm.
the new stuff in our video that they did. I mean, the one guy bolted his trucks upside down on his board upside down and figured out how to kick flip it to ride normal. I was like, dude, what are you doing? I go, this is something I never thought in my wildest dreams. But then I also was like, I always tag him and stuff and letting him know, like, you inspire me to like
Yeah.
literally think about a different, and like I'm gonna post the clip on Tuesday, but for like Go Skateboarding Day. But he inspired me to do some of these upside down tricks, and I'm like, I did something the other day, and I never thought in my wildest dreams I could do, but it was because like it made me feel comfortable that like he's my age and he's saying skating that way, that like, that's cool. And like, I'm going to figure it out. And then, you know, I just like, I post them once in a while. I feel like no one cares. But then once the people are like, dude, last night they were like, those guys from Japan are completely crazy. And I go, I love it. Yeah. Cause that makes me want to watch their part over and over again.
Exactly. Like, and there's a, there, it puts a lot of emphasis on like the creativity and the art is in there, you know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, for me, like that's super inspiring, like seeing that kind of stuff. And yeah, I fully agree. Like, I'm not trying to talk shit on somebody that's jumping. Like, some of that stuff is so gnarly.
You can jump it all you want. I'll watch it all day long. I'll probably I'll help any of the team riders film it. I'll tell you, I'll be like, I'll film you doing that, but my body's too broken. Like, I just think like low impact is my thing. Very low. Yeah. But yeah, you just never know.
Yeah. So how was it? This is your guys' third video?
I think so. Right? I mean, we have like, third or fourth. I think it might be fourth, maybe fifth. I don't know. The company's been around for so long that like every so many years, I feel like we do a video just to like, if I think of a project to get started, then I can kind of motivate the guys. If you don't have a project or like an end goal, no one's going to do anything. They're just going to slack off and kind of chill. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a long time, but we just had our last video like 3 years ago called This Is Why. So, yeah, this one, I don't know. I was like, as soon as we got done, I was like, all right, dudes, I'm going to give you a year off to do whatever you want. But like, you have 2 years to film, but I'm going to keep filming because I feel really good. So yeah, knock on wood. I feel pretty good. So
how did the premiere go last night?
Amazing.
Jump off?
It was sick. Yeah. Like, I think like the town police were even out because there was so many people like at the theater. Well, the theater on a Friday night maybe gets like 10 to 15 people because it's like an indie spot, right? So they play indie films. They're not really super commercial. So I mean, there was like close to like, I don't know, definitely over 100 people showed up for this small theater. So everyone was like tripping. They were like losing it. They couldn't believe that it was coming out. But it's kind of like, there was a video last weekend at home base where like it's really cool and it's really different style, but for like it's a little bit more gnarly than ours. But I think ours is gnarly in a way where it's like more raw, more cutty spots, definitely stuff that you'll never ever see in other videos because the guy's overseas. And then but yeah, I don't know, it was like really awesome turnout. Everything went smooth. It's like 38 minutes, not long at all, you know.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to send you some cash and try to get one.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'll get you a copy. Yeah, we didn't sell out. No, because you know it's a digital age. Everyone's like, when can we download it? And I'm just like, August maybe, if I feel like it. I might just be an ass and not let you download it for a while, just because it's fun that way. I mean, like, I want you to, I'm kind of forcing you to buy a physical copy because you should. It's like, if I'm hand screening them, putting them together, we put a bunch of time into it, and you can't give me $5 for a DVD. Come on, bro. Like, you'll $5. That's all I'm charging. I'm like, come on, this is history here. Like, yeah. So
do you have, you know, one issue that comes to mind with like DVDs specifically is a lot of folks don't even have the players anymore, you know. But you could always like make like a paywall somewhere, you know what I mean, and have like the code like printed inside the DVDs, so you actually have to buy the DVD in order to get the code, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we did that for an album before, where like if you wanted to get the digital version, you had to buy the album to get the digital version. So, and then you had to put in the code. So we'll probably end up doing something. I think we got like a few more premieres coming up, like July and maybe August, and then we'll go from there, you know.
Do you guys have any more collabs happening with Lost Soul? Like, I know that you guys did the Piss Jeans collab deck.
Yeah, that
recently.
was I can't believe they asked me. I've been friends with those dudes forever. We've been playing in different bands. We share this same bill. So when they asked me, I was like, damn, that's mad cool. We might be doing like a coffee thing with a local coffee company.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They're like, this guy, Christian, super nice. And like, I helped him like redesign some packaging and like, I don't know, maybe just take like a name that I didn't think had a lot of like, it wasn't really solid to me, his prior name. So then we kind of like brainstormed. And I was like, well, if you're going to rebrand yourself and really come together, I was like, I'll try and help you do that. So that's called Wanderer. That's pretty cool. But there's nothing else really. I don't know. I just got asked to film a video part yesterday. And I'm like, I'm at my own premiere and someone's like, hey, we need this video part. And I'm like, what? And they're like, you have till the end of summer. I'm like, dude, you guys are killing me. But I'm like, but I was just like, well, how many tricks? What, like a minute and a half? And they're like, yeah, do whatever you want. I was like, well, that's fun then. Yeah, do whatever I want. It'll be easy. But then he said no cell phone. So I was like, all right, cool, no worries. So
is a lot of your filming done on cell phones, or you
just for the Instagram? Yeah. For the regular video, it was all video camera. We're still using like a 3-chip camera, like still doing tape, standard definition. Yeah, no high def. So it's cool. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be nice to do some more collabs, but I know everyone's struggling now. Like, I don't know how it is in Hawaii, but like out this way, like gas is insane, food's insane. Like, I don't know. I just feel bad. Like,
y'all catching up with what's going on out here. It's been like that out here for a while. But yeah,
really?
yeah. I mean, everything has to be imported, right, via ship, right?
Oh, that's right.
And
yeah.
There's some laws.
Let me get some water. Go ahead.
I'm not going to really get into, but it's intentionally difficult to do certain things like get supplies, right? But
oh yeah, that's right, because everything has to be imported. Yeah,
and then there's specific import laws pertaining to the state of Hawaii as well. Like that's
gotcha.
Yeah, we don't need to get into all that. That's a whole political.
I was gonna say it's probably a whole nother mess. Yeah. But yeah, no, I just feel bad. I don't know, like everyone's struggling, so I'm just like, I want to do, I mean, I've been doing like collabs overseas for like art and stuff. Like if you bought from us before, and like, yeah, even like if the Curve Files wanted like a logo done, like I don't mind doing that stuff because I still like arting out. So I always last year during COVID, I went ahead and every shop that's ordered from us, and probably in the last 5 years, I just hit them up and asked them if they would, do you want like a new sticker or something I can like draw? And they're like, some didn't even pay attention, and they're like, I want nothing. I don't even want anything back. I said, but if you use it on a product, can you like tag me in it? And then, yeah, so I just did a bunch of like logos for like all the Japanese shops that carry us. So that was really cool. And one, I think like I'm doing like an art show this fall, but it's like, awesome. I'm just gonna mail everything to them, but it's like it's a female vintage store. So it's called Trope. And I know her boyfriend is like a super cool guy. And I met him at one of my art shows for a premiere in Japan. And then we just, DMing, you can stay in touch. So yeah, I'm just going to be like, I think I'm doing like a postcard watercolor series. So that's something to look forward to till like fall,
Well, normally when things get tight, as far as the economy and, when we're dealing with lots of war and these things, the art world, man, that's where it's at. Like that's usually people usually shelter down and get creative. So hopefully
I totally hear that.
Hopefully a lot of stuff starts happening, as far as that realm goes, right?
Yeah, no, for real. I mean, with music during COVID made me so motivated it pissed off a lot of people and made people crazy. And I was just like, Dude, I'm still working. I think I was working more hours than ever those 2 years of that mess. And like, I just like got like so geared up to like make stuff and make music that like, I was like, I don't know. I started a new band during COVID by just like recording riffs and sending it to a friend. And then finally, when everything got like the, you're allowed to like actually hang out with people without problems, then we had like already a bunch of songs to start. So I don't know. I feel like I gotta create.
Venues are starting to open back up right now, right? So
Yeah. Like we had good decent shows. My band has played like our first show, the new band, at that movie. Excuse me. The movie theater from last night that we had their premiere. They let my band do a show there, so like we had a 3-band bill. It was pretty cool, and it was awesome. I don't know if like to play in front of a gigantic screen like crazy horror movies or like RoboCop or like all this 90s stuff, like 90 cool movies. Like I don't know, it just made it really neat looking. So
yeah. So I was playing music at an event years back, and I'm like, it was at some warehouse space in Oakland, and I don't remember exactly who the video artist was, but for all the bands, like everything was like pretty like kind of cool stuff, like horror movies and just like weird abstract experimental video and like all this kind of stuff. And at some point, like during our set, there's like porn happening.
Oh, weird. That's so strange.
Yeah.
Like,
I was
what
like,
just happened? Yeah.
I was like, wait, like, why did you wait till now?
Yeah.
To whip that out, dude. Like,
yeah, that's not normal. Yeah. No, that's pretty gnarly. Yeah.
It was a little concerning, but
Yeah, for sure.
It's kind of, you put your trust into people, and sometimes I don't know where this story is supposed to go, but
shit just gets weird. That's just it.
It can get weird, you know what I mean? When you're collaborating with video artists, right?
Well, luckily for me, the movie theater was like super cool about like they don't want to play anything sketch. So I was like, correct.
There you go.
Sketch. So I was like, no.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm just hanging out in sketchy places like back in the day.
Dude, those are the best shows. You know it too. Those are the ones you'll talk about forever. I think like Henry Rollins said years ago, like his favorite and best shows were the scariest. And I was like, if you really think about it, those are the ones you'll never forget. Like me getting destroyed by a wall of death of Nazis in some bar in Bethlehem for just like, I'm like, are you fucking serious? But like, that was in like 92. Like, it's insane, like you'll never forget those moments. I mean, you'll remember those moments when like someone's like, oh, that show where we all like stage dived or we're all singing along and it was super sick. Like, you'll remember that. But it'll take someone to remind you about it. But then someone goes, name some of those. I'm like, oh yeah, I do remember. Yeah, that was scary. Or it was, I was a jerk and I was throwing skateboard wheels with my band's logos on it at people, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm that dude. I'm that guy that I should. Yeah, that was kind of. Why was I a jerk? Oh wow.
Yeah. There's a couple of those in my past too, or that were kind of my fault. But yeah,
I've accepted it. Yeah. I mean, I've been stopped in weddings where like you're sitting at the reception table with like people who are like 10 to 15 years younger than you. And they're just like, were you this guy in this band that like sang about skateboarding and had a helmet on? And I was like, that was me. Well, you used to throw these wheels at people. And I was like, yep.
Yeah.
And then they hit me in the face and I was like, I'm really sorry. Like, I'm just like, this is 15 years ago when I was out of my fucking gourd, like I was crazy. But then I used to stencil our logo on old wheels. So
Okay.
imagine like the local skate park would collect all these wheels all the time for me. So I was like, each week I'd be coming home with like four or five sets of wheels. So I spray paint my band's logo on it. And then when we played shows, we played all the time. I would just gun them at people like really hard or bounce them off the ground so they fly all over the place. And then people would freak out. But then I'd be like, did you grab one? And they're like, why? I'm like, well, that's like a good memory because you're going to remember what you got pelted with. So
Right.
now you have someone like it's a souvenir. I'm like, I only made so many of them for so long, you know? So yeah. But the scary shows though, those are the, all right. I have many of those. I'll never forget. They're pretty awesome.
Yeah. I'm assuming that these things still happen today.
Oh yeah. I'm sure that, you know, moshing and being wild is still a thing, but yeah, being terrified to go in a venue and it's literally like 90 to 10 when the ratio is between Nazis and high school kids. That's when
I don't know if that's still happening today, but
I don't think so. But back then that was kind of gnarly. Yeah,
I do remember very similar events that were of that nature as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really miss that aspect, but yeah.
No, I don't. I don't miss being terrified. Yeah. Like you can't even enjoy the
Those
band.
are the nights where you're like, shit, there's gonna be fights tonight. Like,
yep. Yeah. Like
that's what you're gonna see.
Hard.
Yeah, there's gonna be fights. Okay.
Yeah. Like warning your friends, do not go off because those dudes are just looking to destroy us. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh. Yeah, I mean,
it is what it is, right? I guess that's it is what it is, and that's what made us, you know, like it's kind of because you imagine telling, you know, I mean, talking to someone our age who's like got suburban life syndrome, right? And like you tell them about your punk roots, and they would be like, oh yeah, I was just like drinking in my frat house, or like I was just working my 9 to 5 in a tie and suit, and you're like, no, that's not me, you know, like I don't know. Like I just had to tell a story the other day about traveling the US in a van for 3 weeks, and all we drove around with was diesel and vegetable oil. And like when you tell car freaks that like what you did, they're just like they can't wrap their head around it. And you're like, we just did this to survive. We just want to play shows, you know?
Well, I think that a lot of times, like when you're talking to normies or whatever, you know what I mean? Like their ideas of what's normal and why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just get like, you know, like the Winnebago, or you know what I mean? Like there's why didn't you stay at hotels the whole time? You know, that's not necessarily what the point is, right? Like they can't wrap their heads around what the actual point is, right? But you know,
but that's why they like at work, in the last 2 years they started stalking me more because of this, like the band, and also like I don't know if they find out that I'm on social media, but then there's like they're really intrigued with like watching me come up with these ideas that they're just like, how do you do? I'm like, it's just spontaneous most of the time. Like you have one idea spins into the next, and I'm like, all right, that's cool. It only took me like 10 minutes. All right, now I gotta go home and take the dog out, and like I gotta go work on stuff. So yeah, so you never know. Normies are. I'm not saying that they're all terrible. Like they just chose a different path than you and I.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's cool. I respect it a lot, but it's like,
I
can't get down on each other for like doing what you love. That's why I said last night, I'm like, I fucking love skating and I love my friends, and I don't really care about making a ton of money. I just like having some that I can get by. I just want to have like overabundance of memories that with everyone. So that's why like our video is gonna, like the Lost Soul video, What Remains, is like so different than everyone else's. It's like I'm just like there is no excluding. Remember how like that used to, like certain companies won't film other people, or like it's like it's just a little too risque or whatever, and I'm like, nah, That's not us. Like, if you come down for
Risque
this session,
as far as the content, or as far as
well, not
it's
even like,
risque to be inclusive of other folks
well, yeah,
outside of
it's
this
like a lot,
immediate circle.
it's the inner circle, I think I
Mm,
noticed, like, or like, I really hate the too cool for school attitude. So
mm, mm,
that's not how I vibe at all. Like,
mm,
I'm not down with that at all. And it really pushes me over the edge. So I'm just like, if you're just skating with us and we're filming and I feel like you're going to do something cool, I have no problem asking you. And then, like, cool, like, let us put us, you'll be in our friend section if we use it. And
mm,
then it's just like, that's just what like a punk community is about. Cause you remember
mm,
those, like,
mm,
someone falls, you pick them up, you don't stare
mm,
at them. And then,
mm.
like, unless they swing right at you right away after you pick them up, then you're like, all right, now next time you're probably, I'm gonna let you lay there a little bit longer.
Right.
but yeah, like, you deserve it because you're being a jerk, because I'm just trying to help you. But yeah, just like, no exclusion. So that's why I kept telling everyone, I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't know, skateboarding's about like your whole crew. Like,
Yeah.
and remember, you travel around and you would push to spot instead of drive. And if
Hmm.
anyone had a board, you would just start talking to them, because like, it didn't matter. Like,
Hmm.
and I kind of try and keep those ethics alive.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just something I'm very passionate about. And I still care a lot of.
Yeah. I mean, that I think that there needs to be more of that just in general in the world. I mean, the world at large could take a lot from some of those experiences that we've
Yeah.
had, and what you're saying about being inclusive and being open to new ideas, and um, like, again, picking somebody up, giving them an old board if they got something that's beat up, and you can hook them up. Like, yeah, there's more compassion in the world, I think, would be, that's it's a good thing, I think. So
I think for sure. Yeah. I mean, I really strive to, like, really, I mean, I enjoy being a better person and doing stuff, but it's also like, some people just need their time to shine. And, like,
mm,
sometimes, like, if I saw you trying something for a little bit, like, I've been at skate parks where everyone just, no one will say one word to you. No one
hmm,
will say a goddamn thing. They won't care. And you're trying your ass off in this, but the slightest bit of like motivation or like positive reinforcement, dude, that just changes your mental. And you're like, you know what? Shit, I got it, dude. Like,
hmm.
I can do this. So I've done it to so many people that, like, it's now like, people are like, dude, can you just shut up? I'm like, okay, but I'm like, I'm sorry, but like, you're so hard on yourself. If you just tell yourself you can do it, you can do anything.
Mm,
And they're like, I go, I literally spend hours trying the same trick to
mm,
maybe getting it just one time. And it's
mhm,
crazy. But that one person that says, like, I got you, or like, you totally got it, I'm like, thanks. I needed
mhm.
that a little bit. So now I'm just going to do it. So
It'll
yeah,
change your whole perspective, like when you're
100%.
looking at like only the negative aspect of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're going through your mental breakdown over a situation, it doesn't take a.
Over a 3 second clip,
Hmm.
three
Yeah, something
seconds.
ultimately it doesn't really matter. The only person it matters to is to yourself, right? Like,
Correct. Yeah.
yeah, it's yeah. it-
So we've all been there, but yeah, I've made it a point. Like, even we have a new female writer on our team. Her name's
mm,
Kylie, right? And she's like, young kid, like, dudes just stare at her all weird at the skate park, and
mm,
they trip on
yeah.
her trying to learn. And she's been skating for like 8 years or something, or 7 years. And it's like, it's crazy because no one really gave her like super positive reinforcement. But then
Mm,
kind of saw her like trying some tricks, and I mentioned, hey, will you think about trying stuff this way, and like,
mhm,
her head exploded. And then when she made it, the smile made me feel great, because I'm like,
mhm,
damn, that's really rewarding to see someone being like, awesome. And I'm like, yeah, you should kind of chill with us and go filming sometime. Like,
mhm.
it's skating's not always like this at the skate park. We have way more fun outside the skate park.
Oh, for sure.
And then she was just like, wait, they're skating outside the skate park. I'm like, yeah, they're street skating. Like, it's
Yeah.
wild, but think
We're
about
like,
it.
fuck, like there was no skate park, like, you
No,
know, yeah,
we,
it's like it is a strange thing, like uh that is a a generational divide, uh
yeah. I mean, I remember this literally skating to a abandoned James Way parking lot and literally looking at anything that was around to like make slider bars
mhm,
or a piece of wood against the wall with another piece and making a wall ride. Like, is
mhm,
this like literally making use of your environment and then putting stuff back? Because then people would be like yelling at you, why are you putting it back? We can ride it tomorrow. I'm like, but if the workers find out that we were here, then they'll probably take the stuff away. So
yep,
put it back the way you found it and just pretend you were never here. Pick up your trash and we'll come back tomorrow.
mhm,
And I still push for that shit. Like, I still do it to this day. I mean, I'm fucking old. I'm like, it's so funny that like to skate the curb that for the clip that I just sent you, I had to push the fence back like 4.5, 5 feet. But at the end of the session, I put all my shit in the car, I go back and pull it back so it looks like
mhm.
even the dust marks are still from the pieces of wood by the fence. I'm like, I line everything up and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm out of here. I'm like, I got to come back next time. Yeah, it's just it's comical, but I don't know. I just learned to always do it that way. Like,
Yeah,
don't shit where you sleep, right? That's what they
totally.
always say. So,
Yeah, I get
um,
super stoked seeing kids out in the street, like that that excites me, because I mean, skate parks, there's so many of them. There's and it's kind of stifling, right? Like
yeah,
on one degree, like, well, you could like make the next pro at any skate park, right? Like
yeah,
as soon as you install that thing, but at the same time, like, um thinking outside of the box doesn't happen, right? Because now you've made a fucking
well, yeah.
box.
Now
you
you're just
know
stuck. Yeah, I always say you're stuck in the cage. Like, I'm a rat
I
in a
refer to the
cage.
local one as the monkey cage. Like when I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm leaving the monkey cage is what I tell my
Is that
folks.
how
Like,
you say it? Yeah.
yep.
I usually say like I'm the rat stuck in this cage for the day, and I can't do that. Like, I gotta go out and like wander, and everyone gets so mad at me because I don't do parks that often. I love parks. I can
Mhm,
skate them. I love transition. I used to do it, but dude, it's this. Like I said, I'm obsessed with how I learned how to skate in 1987 is how I feel now. And
mhm,
it's so fun to drive around and look for spots
yeah.
or like, or even street skate. And then like someone's asking what you're doing. And I'm like, it's none of your business. I'm just
Mhm,
skating. And they're like, what? I'm like, I'm not 10, dude. Like, I'm an old man. Just let me do my thing. I'm gonna be out in 5 minutes.
mhm.
So yeah, I don't know. It's part of our nature. I don't know. Seek and destroy, right? That's what they always say.
Right. Well, there was the skate and create too, right? There's
Yeah,
one
for
of the
sure. Great.
the seek and destroy is what that is the Stooges
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. What's it like there today with the weather?
This morning it rained, sun came out, and then it looks like it's going to rain again.
Oh, yeah.
It can be a little hectic with the amount of water sometimes. I live
Okay.
in a rainforested area,
Okay.
so it gets pretty wet over here. The local town that I generally hang in where the skate shop is, that kind of stuff, where would go like goof around, is um, probably one of the wettest cities
Oh, okay.
in America, right?
Wow.
Tops Seattle easy. Um, so you improvise, right?
Yeah.
You roll your wheels until they're like like gone, right?
No.
Like the ground is rough. Um, it's it you figure it out, like I
Yeah.
definitely there's the go-to spots. There's only a handful of them, but There's only a handful of spots, but you know, you know where the covered spots are, and
Oh yeah, for
make
sure.
it happen, even if it's
Yeah.
just some flat ground in like a parking block in a wall, right? You can, that's all you need sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Like I don't, yeah, I'm so used to this, like making use of your environment. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. But I love looking for new stuff. And like, it's like really fun, And
Yeah.
I don't, yeah, a skate park is cool. It's cool. Like, I'll go fart around, I'll go joke around and do whatever. But like, I don't know. I think I'll always be in love with the streets. So,
So like, yeah, every time I travel someplace, like I hit up the skate park, right? And I find whichever local skate park that I kind of vibe with, right? Because there's so many different ones everywhere now. Figure out what that is. But most of the time, I'm like driving around going, oh, like, oh, that curb's too crusty. We can't do that. Oh, what's that bump? That looks,
yeah,
oh, fuck. I don't know. There's a big ass pothole. I can't deal with that one. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I'll spend hours just searching for a spot. I only skate for like a half hour before the security guard comes, right? Or whatever, right?
yeah,
So I mean, yeah, I love that too. It's part of the adventure, right? It's part
yeah.
of it's
The
like
adventure,
kind of
the
like
adventure is endless. Yeah,
it's like figuring out like what your color palette's going to be, or like what pedal you're going to use. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's all it's figuring out the comp yeah, it's a major part um uh, of the whole process. And yeah,
I think it's
finding cool
like,
spots is awesome.
yeah, and I still aimlessly drive around. Like on a rainy day, I don't complain. I just get in the car and go look for stuff, and then I make notes.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm still like nerdy about that. Like I'll just go do it, or I'll watch videos and think of stuff and think of the spot for the trick. Or um, I don't. I mean, you can ask Adam left and right how many times we've like driven in circles to try and find something stupid. Like I've literally drive him crazy. But then like I will drive by something, and then like if I see it, I just, if it's an abandoned lot or like something destroyed, I go to it right away, because I just know I
mm,
can find something or make something that, it's kind of like a rush when no one else is going to be able to ride it.
mm.
So I think like Adam and I we drove by this mall one time that was getting destroyed, and our friend was like, "What the hell are you going to do here? Like, there's nothing here." And I was like, "I just need like 2 minutes. Like, don't ruin my vibe. Like, just chill." Adam's looking around. I said, "Just let me do my thing." And
Mm.
next thing you know, I look at the structure and I was like, "Oh, it's right here." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Well, if I move these metal beams and like hopefully the piece of metal doesn't fall from the roof on me." Uh, I'm gonna make some drop in that's probably gonna be scary as hell, but like, look at the background of the building.
Mm.
No one in the. And then like Adam was like, "Yeah, whatever you need." So 45 minutes to almost an hour cleaning out the spot to get it just for like 2 tries. But I think it was only one, because everything shifted and the wind was moving the sheet metal sideways. It was like flapping in the wind, ready to fall on top of me. But I was like, that moment alone in the photo, I told Adam, I was like, I'll never ever forget that. And that's
Mm.
what makes skating like super cool to
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
So
for
I
sure.
just want to, it's like our job at our age to instill that stuff in the younger generation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My
Like,
daughter, sometimes she sits in the car, she's like, oh my God, we like driving around. Like, are you gonna get out of the car eventually? You know what I mean? There's been
yeah,
some of that, but yeah, I do
yeah,
think that, um, the younger generations, they do need to really start shifting that. And I see a lot of young kids doing that now, which is awesome,
yeah.
like getting
I
out of the
mean, they
skate
do.
park
There,
and
yeah,
thinking
there's
outside the
some that do
box.
that. Yeah. But I don't know if I'm just in a weird, intimidating old dude when I'm like, "Yo, meet us on Sunday to go street skating." And they're like, we're going. I'm like, "All right, cool." We're like, "I'm leaving at 11. I've been up since like 3 or 4 in the morning. So like I got to be back by 5. So I just can't screw around. So some dudes will come out with us to film, but then they're so jealous when they find out like all the spots or some stuff is just right by your house, which like they would never even think twice of doing it, you know? So yeah, and
they
it's
might
like,
not be able to see it yet, you know?
yeah. So I literally, I don't know. My wife doesn't like when I look for spots when we drive because I literally veer a lot. Like I'm always like, I'm looking and not paying attention.
I've done that.
Yeah, it happens a lot. But there also be like me. Yeah, yeah, that happens quite often. But then she's been down since the beginning of us hanging out, so she knows about shows, she knows about running the merch table. So then she knows about driving and me getting out to take a picture of the spot and then being like, all right, cool. Like I'm gonna have to come back here on Sunday, you know, when no one's around. So
yeah, it's important to have a partner that's receptive to those things and understands, right? I personally have lucked out myself in this type of situation, you know. It's
super
awesome.
out. Yeah. I mean, she gets the music, she gets the art, she'll break me down in a heartbeat too. She'll crush my high hopes of like something cool in a heartbeat just to bring me back down to like, you know, eye level of understanding. But then, you know, like sometimes she just like, well, let me see the photo, let me see the footage today, and I just show her quick and she's like, oh, well, at least you were productive. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go take a shower and like we can go eat dinner now. All right. She's like, yeah. So luckily I have someone like that who doesn't hurt me much. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm super stoked that you were down to talk with me about everything we just talked about. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, no worries.
But I think we're like running out of time on the
no, it's all good
on the Zoom thing here.
Yeah, we can jam.
Yeah.
I appreciate you reaching out, and like I really appreciate you like reposting stuff or like even putting me in a post. Like sometimes I just feel, you're always discouraged. You're like, I don't think anyone cares, but sometimes they do, and you just need like, someone new hit you back, and then there is like you get juiced and you want to get out there and do more. So
yeah, well, I really appreciate what you do. Like all of it, from making graphics, the style of skating that you're promoting is fucking awesome. And
thank you.
That like literally as that, and not any other association. Like I music, art, all of it. I mean, to me, that's what the whole thing's about. And like we're saying, like it's exactly. The shit, like it all ran together, right? And maybe at some point, like you pieced them together at different times, but it was together for a reason, right? And, that's something that like I'm interested in promoting, and I making physical media, like all this stuff. I mean, it's what it's about, as far as in my mind. So I'm stoked like, on your stuff for sure.
Well, thank you so much. And like I said, like I wouldn't send stuff to you if I didn't like what you're doing, like it's cool. Like you give shine to people who aren't in mags, and like you get down with a real cause. And to me, it's just like that networking that you and I are doing is like, it's huge. I mean, look how far away we are from each other, and yet like we're still talking about shows, we're still talking about skating, art. Like to me, I can get down with those conversations forever. Like I just think this is super cool. So but yeah, whenever you want to chat, hit me up, and like I'm gonna keep tagging you and sending you some more wacky shit. So I got a good one coming on Tuesday, and also my band drops a song on Wednesday on Decibel magazine. I think it's like an internet thing, but
oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a new song on our new album that's coming out in October. So
you're gonna press them up or 7 inches?
Yeah. No,
I heard a rumor, like I know back in the day, like fucking dudes would be able to turn shit out like really, really fast.
Everything's like really behind now.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
like the vinyl industry is like kind of like definitely on the upswing at this point, right?
Yeah.
So
It's crazy. So I think like it's on Hex Records, and that's like out of Seattle. So he used to be on the East Coast, and then he moved out that way. But yeah, they're dropping our album in October, and we're supposed to go on tour for like a week. But we're gonna release a song on Tuesday. Is like the hey, this is one of the songs on the new album, because the other band I did for like 14 years had a bit of a following. So he's just like, all right, well, it basically sounds the same thing with a new voice, a new name. So, but yeah, it's gonna be cruising. I don't know.
yeah. Well, good luck with your tour.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Watch out for projectionists.
Yes. Yeah, that's another thing we talked about. Yeah.
And,
watch out for the roofs.
Watch out for the
yeah. I got some more up my sleeve. That's what's terrible about getting asked to do another thing. So I was like, damn it. I didn't want to do too many more, but I guess I still got it. So yeah. But yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. It's hopefully you have a rad day and a good week.
You too.
All right, Darren. Take care, brother.
Take it easy. All right.
See ya. Bye.